Today, we have another one of the good brothers in the city, Baltimore City, one of the leaders of, I ain't gonna give you too much on him, I'm gonna let him give you a little bit, but I just wanna give him a brief introduction. I met this brother a couple years back, coaching my program, playing against his program in the city league, citywide. It was BNBL Winter League. And, the brother just, first off, I'm gonna say this. The brother got a good smile, man. The smile that kind of slides you in, right? But the brother got a good spirit, man. He resembled the spirit that I shared, for the passion for the kids. So I drew to this fella, right? That was in the city. We went on to do that, play that for a while. Then his brother started his own league, right? So, that's a big thing around here where we from. He didn't just go X's and O's. He said, I'm gonna go a step further to put the kids that I work with and the kids throughout the city in maybe a better situation that's better for them, right? Coach, I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself to the world, your name, your program, and who you are today.
What's up, man? I'm Coach Magic. Program is the Village Youth Academy. Also with Level 82 football program.
Thank you for being here today, good brother.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
Okay, we want to excuse me for my voice.
It's all good. It's all good. When you coaching, that's what happens.
Yeah, man. I've been coaching this weekend, man. Had a good weekend, but there's a lot of people out there on that court, man. They gotta hear what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
So yeah, again, I thank you for being here. I want to go into a little bit of your past, right? You've been coaching for quite a while. Just exactly how long have you been coaching, Coach Magic?
26 years.
26 years. Okay.
Yeah, 26 years.
Okay. What first made you fall in love with this game that you coach today?
It's funny, man, because really I'm a baseball guy. Like, I went to school, I played Division I baseball. Baseball was my first, what is my passion. Just because, again, as a young age, I seen the economics of baseball. It understood that guaranteed contracts was guaranteed contracts in baseball. A lot of people didn't understand, like, football, they're not guaranteed contracts. So you can sign for $20 million this year, and next year they can cut you. You know what I mean? And that's money you ain't gonna get. But in baseball, they get rid of you. That's money. That's your money. You know what I'm saying? Like, they always still got paid. Orioles still paying Albert Bell right now. You feel me? And he been gone. But it just economics linked me to baseball. But then football, it was funny. Just seeing all the programs. My nephew was pretty good coming up, and I just seen how when he was in programs, how the programs kind of treated him. I felt like after he was done with that program, like, the program didn't really follow him through high school. Like, it wasn't so it was just like, you know what? I think I got a better way. And then one day, I always said I was going to start my old program, but it's a lot in doing that. But I had a good mentor, a coach of mine, Greg Hill, Mr. Hill, Coach Hill, that told me, he was a good friend of my family, good friend of my father's. So he was just like, you got he's seen it before I seen it, to be honest. He was like, man, you got all the intangibles to be a great coach, a great leader. I'm looking at him like, man, you tripping. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my 20s, like, I'm partying. I'm fresh doing crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? But truly, I had a son, and my son was getting of age. He was 5. And when he came with this opportunity to coach down Charm City, because they had 2 flag teams, and they just took all the 7-year-olds, put all the 5 and 6 kids that didn't know what to do on one team and really wasn't working with them. So he's like, man, come down here and take that team. And from there, that's what I did. That was my start. So I started out at Charm City Buccaneers, coaching their extra 7U flag team. And then from there,
what year was that?
Jeez.
Come on, let's get in this. Come on, let's get our thinking cap off.
What this? 2025?
2025.
26? So yeah, 22. I mean, 2000.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If you just do the math, that's 25 years right there.
Right.
2000. Yeah. So started then, and then like I said, from there it just went way past that. You know what I'm saying? I got with a guy who had started a program, Boys the Men, Jeff. And he was like, man, let's do this. And I was like, all right, because I was leaving Charm City against Lou. It was like one thing led to another. I just didn't like, at that time, you know, I had a great experience. I took kids that nobody expected to do anything and made the playoffs. So for that, Coach Hill gave me like his trophy, like they won the championship, all that shit. He was like, no, you did the best coaching job he had gave. So he really instilled that confidence in me to let me know that I really did a good job because, like he said, nobody expected me to win a game. When I first took the kids, my brother was out there. I can remember this vividly. He laughed at me and was like, brother, you ain't going to win a game with these kids. And it was just like, all right, I'm going to show you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of spirit I am. I'm going to show you. Like, you can say whatever you want. I ain't got to run with the crowd. I'm going to show you. So that just became my mission, just to not only show people, but show people how you really take care of kids, how you really put kids first. So that's what really led me. So then from there, I went to Boys the Men, stayed there a year, increased their participation. And then Coach Dennis, rest in peace, Coach Dennis, from Liberty came to Jeff, you know, and they talked. And next thing you know, Jeff was like, well, Liberty want to merge with us. So we went and sat down with them. So I'm like, bet. Not only we got Garrison Middle School, we got Liberty Rec, they got gym in there, got space in there, and then we got Forest Park right up the street. Like, it just made sense. You know what I'm saying? And that's my neighborhood. That was the other part. That was my neighborhood that I grew up in. I played at Liberty Rec. You know what I'm saying? Many times. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, all right, bet. If I can help Liberty Rec get there, bet. Let's do it. So then we just exploded. Hit the ground running, changed a bunch of different things, and then just exploded. They went from having 3 teams, because in the City League, you only was able to have a 9-11, 10-12, and 11-14. And then that's all City did. But I was coming from Metro. They did 6-7, you know what I mean? They did flag, 7-9, 8, you know what I mean? They had the younger ages. So my whole thing was like, you can never really build this program if you're really not starting from the bottom up. So then we just made a concerted effort to really change everything, really go a different pathway. And then once I got to Liberty, we just hit the ground running. And then from there, I just got into other things because I was in Metro League, and they was like, well, Magic, whatever, because Pop Warner was expensive as shit, especially if you go there and win. The money that you spent going to nationals was more than you spent on your whole organization that year. So it was like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I can't do that. I'm not taking no loans. I'm not doing none of that because my kids got the opportunity to go, and now they can't go because we can't afford it. So it was just like, man, we got to find something else. So then I switched lanes and went and found another whole national brand of football, which is AYF. So then I was the first one to put people really on the AYF. I reached out, they reached back out. I got some games with some guys from Virginia. They came to Forest Park, Manassas Mutiny, and Dale City Cowboys. They came down. Then I met another guy from PG County, Jason Young. He was trying to do the same thing out that way. So we was like, all right, bet, boom, boom. We about to hit the ground running. So then we started AYF in Baltimore. Started that. You know, and like I said, went to the meeting, everybody laughed, ha, 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 nobody ain't leaving Pop Warner, Magic, you crazy, ain't nobody leaving Disney. But I seen that, one, their rules and how strict they was, how they always wanted you to ask them for permission to do stuff that didn't even make sense, having to share money with them if you added, like, it was just crazy. It was like a big monopoly. So I was like, you know, that ain't right. So then, like I said, started doing that. Started AYF with 4 programs. It was Liberty, Forest Park Blackhawks, Parkside Warriors, and then we had a team from out PG County. Goodness gracious, what is their name? I am getting old. Team from out PG County. Can't think. It'll come back to me, right?
Was it Watkins?
No, it wasn't Watkins. It wasn't Watkins. It'll come back to me, right? But started that with four organizations. Led that. Then somehow they didn't like me. They kicked me out my own room. Like, seriously, started it, kicked me out my own room. Oh, because I left Liberty. And then I went and started Baltimore Stallions. Me and Coach Jamal, we went and started Baltimore Stallions, and John, we all went and started Baltimore Stallions. So they was real upset. So the league that I created, league that I started, they kind of blackballed me out the room. So I wasn't able. So they thought I wasn't going to be able, because they thought I was just going to take all the Liberty kids, which I wasn't, because they had coaches there. But again, I'm always a starter. I don't need much. You give me 2 rocks, I'm going to make, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to make a spark. You know what I mean? 2 sticks, I'm going to make a spark. So went there. Around that area is around Baltimore Hilton. My grandmother lived around there. I grew up around. I ran the alleys around there because you know how it is when you at grandma's house. You part of the community because that's grandma's house. You always there.
These weekends, pop
you know what I'm saying? I'm always there, even if it ain't weekend, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So really, that was kind of my neighborhood as well. But I just didn't spend every day there. But I spent a lot of time around there. So opportunity came. Seen it was a field there that was empty, nobody there, bop. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna go there. You know what I'm saying? Because had enough space for us to have whatever teams we had. So that's when we went there. And then just started building. And then from there, it just became one thing after another. Then I realized that football wasn't just it, that I had to do more stuff. So then we added the basketball. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, brother, that's kind of the start. But
Okay. All right, that's good. So you said that you came up pretty much early on in the area around Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Take us through that. How was it like growing up in that area? They call that area Cross Tracks, right?
Yeah. So I was a little bit of both, because like I said, so I was a kid that went a lot of places, to be honest. Like I moved, like I had family. I got a big family, so. My aunt lived on Springdale, which is a street that leads right into the wreck. You feel me? I lived on Bellevue, you know what I'm saying, which is maybe 8 blocks away, you know what I'm saying, other way. My father had a store on Park Heights in Almond, you know what I'm saying? So I grew up around there. My mother and them grew up around Park Heights. So a lot of people don't know that, but like Park Heights has always been a part of my family, because like I said, I spent a lot of I've always moved around, and not me moving, but just me as in I'm here. I was never a kid to really sit still, you know what I'm saying? And then my father was working, so it was like, all right, you going over grandma's house. All right, I got to go over here. So I always someplace, and then I had cousins that was my age, so that's why I definitely going over there. But it was really good area, you know what I'm saying? A lot of good friends. I've met a lot of great people through over my years. Like, I don't ever understand when people say they don't have friends. Like, for real. I don't understand how, unless you're just an asshole. But for real, it's a lot of good, genuine people that I still have communication with today. We may not speak every day, but we still talk. When we get around each other, it's nothing but love. But it was a great time, man. It was a great time growing up. Like I said, kids don't do what we did. So I had woods that I used to go in and all that type of shit that kids do, riding bikes, all that, you know what I'm saying? Subway was just brand new, really. So we had a subway station right there, right at Rogers Station. So we were able to do a lot, man. Have a lot of fun.
So you say your first passion was baseball.
Yeah.
When did you start that?
Well, I played all sports. You know, coming up, I got older brothers that it was basketball. It was basketball, baseball, football. You played basketball in the winter. You played baseball in the spring. You played basketball football in the fall. So I always have been a 3-sport guy. I've never not played all those sports. All of them I was pretty good. But reason I lean toward baseball, because I'm not 6'3". I'm not 6'3". So me being a 5'7" point guard, I ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're exceptional. I wasn't exceptional, I was okay. You know what I mean? So that I knew that path wasn't mine. Football, I was pretty good. I used to hit the shit out of people. But still, at my size, baseball, that don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? You could be a shorter guy in baseball. They still like a big guy, but it ain't frowned upon. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like first a DN got to be 6'3", 6'5" in the NFL. That's the prototype. It ain't no prototypical second baseman. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I could pitch. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what size you are in pitching. You could be the biggest guy, you could be the smallest guy, as long as you could throw strikes. So that gravitated me. And then I was good at it. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, my brother, who I felt was all world, you know what I'm saying? He, you know, people just started comparing me to him. Like, bro, you know how if you got a bigger brother, they always start comparing you to the bigger brother, whether it's less or more. They started blowing my head up like it was more. So I'm thinking, oh shit, I got a chance in baseball. And then when I got to high school, it was like, all right, what am I concentrating on? Still played a little football, basketball, but then ultimately, like I said, went to school for baseball.
Division One.
Yeah. I started out at High Point University, Division II in High Point, North Carolina. Then I transferred, you know, because I was young, didn't have guidance, and that was the other reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now, to give kids guidance. Didn't have no guidance, to be honest. And it was like, I felt disrespected having to redshirt. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why. I didn't realize that was the process for everybody. But you know, when you're an athlete and you think you the shit, you think certain things supposed to go a certain way. So it didn't go a certain way at High Point. Not only that, it was predominantly white. At that time, I didn't know High Point was a predominantly black town, because all I seen really was the campus. If I had known High Point was a predominantly black town, probably would have stayed there. You know what I'm saying? But after they told me I was redshirting, I was like, man, fuck that. I ain't redshirting. My man went to University of Maryland Eastern Shore, who I went to high school with. My guy, he like, man, come up here. We need some talent. I'm like, bet. I'm there in the spring. Transferred and went to University of Maryland Eastern Shore. But yeah, so University of Maryland Eastern Shore is a Division I school. So yeah, I played Division I baseball.
Take us back to high school when you first came in as a freshman. You starting to become, at this point, as you start to become, you know, find your, you know, athletic prowess. I'm one of the best in the neighborhood, and then they compare me to my brother, or did it start later?
It was early. You know what I mean? Through kind of like rec ball. You know what I'm saying? But going into high school, I was a live wire too. I gotta add that. Like, I was that prototypical guy that was trying to juggle streets and sports. You know what I mean? To be honest. You know what I'm saying? And you can't do that. Like, that's just it ain't no gangsters in basketball. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no gang. Like, it's not. You know what I'm saying? So you got to choose your path. You can't walk both paths. Most of the guys that you see walking past, you usually see them on the news. Just to be honest, when they try to do both. But going to high school, it was like, all right, it's time to go. It's go time, because I know it's go time. But I started out at St. Joe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went to Mount St. Joe, and going there, it was a big shock, because I really start seeing how politics and the network, and how, to be honest, being an African American in a white space, not always equaled up. You know what I'm saying? Just to be honest. So
what do you mean by that?
Just, it was still a lot of racism and a lot of racism in Mount St. Joe, to be honest.
In the 90s,
you know what I'm saying?
late
Yeah,
90s.
absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, they camouflaged it, but you know it was real, and I can say that probably a lot of people that experienced private school or Catholic school education, especially when it was predominantly white, experienced some of these things. I'm not saying it was beating you down every day, but you seen it. You know what I'm saying? You know. So example, when I was and then I was a person that challenged stuff all the time. I was a little militant. You know what I mean? I'm a Tupac fan, a little militant. But always it was like, we can't wear dreadlocks, but the white guy's head can be all the way down their head. You know what I'm saying? We can't wear Timbs, but they can wear Doc Martens. You know what I'm saying? Just little things that we seen, and I was the one to challenge it. Like seriously, I had a friend, me and him, I had dreadlocks in high school. You know what I'm saying? And it was like they didn't want us to have it, and it was like pushing for our rights. So again, I was like one of those guys. Like I tell people a lot, the reason a lot of those black guys at St. Joe get a lot of their liberties is because I push back. Just to be honest, they kicked me out, but I pushed back. You know what I'm saying? So
After you finished there, where did you end up?
wound up. I told you I was a live wire. Wound up at Forest Park neighborhood school. I was Gucci then because I'm back in the hood with my guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my parents hated that part, but I'm back in the hood with my guys. So I loved every part of it.
Right.
I went from an all boys school to co-ed Forest Park. I love everything about it. 'Cause now I get to holler at girls every day. Oh, you know what I mean? You know what we do in Baltimore City public schools. It became prevalent. It was like, because I've always been in, like, I started out in elementary school. I was in public school. Got into trouble. I was always mischievous little kid, so I got in trouble. Mother was like, fuck that, you going to Catholic school. And from third grade on, that's what she tried to put me, you know what I mean, in Catholic school. But then, like I said, once I got put out of St. Joe, they was like, I'm not spending no more money on you, bro. And I'm like, that. I never asked you to. I understand as a parent, you want to put your kid in better. And now, as a parent and as an adult, I understand why. But me, nah, I wasn't trying to hear none of that. But now I'm back in public school at Forest Park and loving it. You know what I'm saying? Because now, just to be honest, the level of competition is lower. Just to be honest, it's lower. So now baseball, now at Forest Park, I'm definitely the guy. I got a bunch of guys around us, and we led the team to the point I got put out to the best start in Forest Park history. You know what I mean? We was rolling, and I had some guys with me, and we had really gelled. You know what I'm saying? Like I really took on a leadership role at Forest Park. Like I'm just coming in the door. And I got guys. I'm telling you, like preseason, we running steps. Like we really getting at it. I'm like, because ultimately I'm here. You feel me? That was my whole perception. Like I'm here. We ain't gonna be sorry. You know what I'm saying? And then I realized I had some guys that I knew, and it was like perfect. But that I was having the best season of my life, to be honest. I was like third in the state, batting average, bunch of stolen bases. I was pitching. I had a great ERA. You know what I'm saying? Everything was aligning. Start getting more interest. Junior year, we talking about junior year now. I'm getting more interest from colleges. Everything recruiting heating up. I'm like, that. My dumb ass, I get put out. Get in a fight. One of the kids ran my father's store. My cousin there, they banked them. Long story short, I wound up getting suspended getting expelled for hitting him with my bat. I had my bat because we had a game that day. Had to catch him in the hallway. Yeah, I was a live wire. I'm you know what I mean? Seriously, like that's another story for another day. But got put out. So like the last 3 months of school, I didn't even make it. You know what I mean? Like they put me out. Had to go administrate, all them hearings down North Avenue, all that. Had to go to anger management classes, all that. So for the last 3, I thought I was gonna fail my 11th grade year. In hindsight, I wish I had. Because that made me miss a whole year of basically the rest of the year, a season. Mm-hmm. So in hindsight, I wish I would have had a chance to go back because I got an early birthday. You know what I mean? Got one of them birthdays that, I graduated at something. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, all right. But
so following, being expelled there, so we on the second expulsion. So will we finish out at the
third school? So through all that, they told me I could not go to any schools on the west side. They North Avenue said because of the incident and how it has then spiraled because a lot of stuff transpired after that. You know what I'm saying? But they was like, you can't go to no west side schools. We do not want that on the west side of Baltimore. We gonna ship you across. You got to go over east. So my choices was, and then I had guys that I played summer baseball with. And because I played summer baseball and they went to Lake, I told them I'm going to Lake because I couldn't go nowhere where they was just going to be absolutely terrible, had no talent. Because again, I'm still chasing a scholarship. You know what I'm saying? Now, so I gotta go somewhere.
And now you went from Mount St. Joe to Forest Park, and now you recognize throughout the state.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit, but that was short lived because don't forget my season was cut short,
Right.
so I ain't even finished the rest of the season.
So with the state, you got a little recognition, but we know that type of recognition throughout Baltimore City. You like the baseball king.
Yeah, we rolling. You know what I'm saying?
Take us through that 12th grade year.
12th grade year was fantastic. To be
First day I
honest.
walked on the Lake campus.
It was great because I already knew people. Like I said, I'm a guy who got around a lot of different places. You know what I mean? My mother's grandmother lived on the east side, lived right down the street from Lake. So again, one of those things where I'm familiar with the neighborhood. That was another reason why I went, because my grandmother lived right there. If I needed to go somewhere, I could just go to grandma's house that's right up the street. So it all panned out. But first thing, Lake was great. I had a bunch of guys, like I said, I played summer ball with. Let them know I was coming to Lake. So we was already ready to go. You know what I'm saying? That year, I didn't try out. I didn't play no football. I didn't play. I was going to play basketball, but shit, that was Shantae Rogers and fucking Guy Butler and them. That year they won state championship. I wasn't getting on that team. You know what I mean? Just to be honest, I wasn't going to be on that team. You know what I mean? Plus, coming from West over East was always hard to get on a team, just the way it was back when we was growing up. You know what I'm saying? Usually West Side guys didn't go East and got time. You know what I'm saying? Just was one of those things. But shit, I wound up wrestling because I knew wrestling would get me prepared for just a bunch of shit, because it was something new to me. It was challenging. And I knew we was also lifting weights and getting, you know what I mean, those things you do in wrestling. You're going to be at your peak condition when you in wrestling, because you got to wrestle a nigga for 3 minutes a clip. So I knew that, you know what I'm saying? And so I wrestled that year. And then coming into the baseball season, we had a great season. Just couldn't beat Patterson. You know what I'm saying? With a bigger school. Now we got to play the bigger schools. And we just couldn't beat Patterson, though. Patterson had a couple good guys. Couple guys that got drafted and all, but we used to have some really good run-ins with them. But yeah, it was a great season. You know what I'm saying? It led me to be able to go to college, so I loved everything about Lake.
Okay.
Class of '95, by the way.
95. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little old.
So some of us have it. You know, I've been speaking with coaches. They let me know that some of them don't. They got a multitude, maybe at 102, however. So. The next question is, who would you say was your sensei coming up? You know, that coach Magic that, you know,
Coach
for
Hill.
a lot of kids,
Coach
you their
Hill.
sensei.
Coach Hill.
Coach Hill.
Coach Hill was the GOAT. Like, he had sayings, he was funny. He coached me in baseball, not in football. So that was the other part, that he seen something in me in baseball that led me to this. I didn't play football for him. Now, I had nephews and people that played for him, but I didn't play for him. You know what I'm saying? Not football. But him seeing that in me, and I knew he was a really good coach. I knew the kids really respected him. That was my guy. And then coming up, I hated him because he held you accountable. Like, Coach Hill, he'll praise you, but then he'll also hold you accountable. And that was the biggest thing. You know, when you're an athlete, when you got talent, somebody holding you accountable is the most important thing, because that helps you grow. That helps you get better. If not, you're going to be stuck in a box thinking your shit don't stink. You know what I'm saying? Or you lacking. And at the highest level, when everybody at the same type of physical, you know what I mean, got the same attributes, what's going to separate you? So it was Coach Hill who really was a really, really big influence over what I did. Yeah.
All right. So if you could, you know, you're going to look at camera B.
Okay.
You're going to let Coach Hill know all that he done for you and how much you appreciate him.
Man, Coach Hill, without him knowing, because like I said, when I was playing for him, I couldn't stand him. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, you held me accountable. So I just appreciate you recognizing the talent in me before I recognize it in myself. And that's what good mentors and that's what good coaches do. They see something in you and push you towards that you've never even seen for yourself. So I just want to say thank you. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of kids in this city owe a debt of gratitude to you. I know a lot of kids in this city love Love you. So again, rest in peace. Thank you for all you've done for me.
Yes, sir. Rest in peace, Coach L. Describe your coaching style in one word.
Oh, I'm fiery. You know, I'm
Fiery.
like you, bro. I'm nonstop shit. Look, people trip because that's the funny part because you just like me. The ball can be just tipped off and you see something you don't like in the first 20 seconds. I'm calling timeout. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, the 20 seconds, I should be seeing what I want to see. It's the first 20 seconds. Why am I not seeing what I want to see in the first 20 seconds? So what, I'm going to let the whole game go like this? Or no, we're going to nip it in the bud. So I'm fiery. I'm always coaching. Always coaching. We could be up 20 points. I'm still coaching. Because you got to understand that it's consistency that's going to help you out. You can't be inconsistent. Just because I'm up 20, now I'm making dumb passes, I'm making dumb decisions. Now the game at 5. You feel what I'm saying? Because you wasn't consistent. You took your foot off the gas pedal. Nah. Consistency is the key. So I'm always coaching. And then not only that, you always see things that kids do that's wrong, that they need to be checked at. Because again, in critical games, that mistake going to hurt you way more than it might hurt you now. You think because the game is lopsided now, but what happens when we in this game and you don't do those things? So it's always about coaching and making sure that they understand that they being held to a standard. But yeah, I'm a fiery coach. You know that, good brother. I'm fiery. I'm up all day. Me and you coach the kind of the same way. I'm a yell all day. But nothing but love. It's never going to be disrespectful or any of those things, but it's going to be within the game, and I'm a coach hard. And even the referees know. You better tell me get back. you throw, like in football, you throw that warning flag, yeah, you got me the rest of the game because I know the next one is unsportsmanlike. So I'm good. I ain't going to get that, but I'm going to press the limit because as a coach, that's my job. That's my job to fight for my team. If I ain't saying, ref, watch out for this, what am I doing just watching the game? You know what I'm saying? That is my part of me helping my team out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just can't just sit there and, nah, I'm going to be up, and I'm going to be up all game probably.
Yes, sir. Coach, what would you say is the foundation of your program and your culture over at the Village?
Development. You know what I mean? Our whole thing is SOS. Support plus opportunity equals success. That's our mantra. You know what I'm saying? Our whole part is...
Hold up, Coach. Okay, you can't. Come on now. Come on, let's get that a little slow. Slow that down for me, Coach.
All right, so it's SOS. Support plus opportunity equals success. So if I give you an opportunity and then I'm along that way supporting you, ain't nothing but success going to come from that. Because I'm sitting there walking side by side with you. So that's what I told you about a lot of programs don't do. We going to walk side by side them kids. Like I got kids now that playing basketball for us, don't play football for us. I don't care. Am I sitting there trying to recruit them for my football team? Never. Why? Why do people always... Why? Because at the end of the day, and that's why the program name is the Village Youth Academy. It takes a village. It takes a multitude of people, and then you getting a little bit from that person, a little bit from that person, a little bit from that person to help mold a well-rounded person. So that's kind of what we have created, and that's what my program is focused on, is this development. I tell parents all the time, I'm just trying to get your kid to be the best version of himself or herself. That's it. Because everybody, the numbers don't speak that everybody going to play college sports or even high school sports. So you can't just go by the mantra, oh, we getting them ready for the next level. No, the next level is life. We should be getting them ready for life because no matter what they do, they got to do life. So why aren't we getting them ready for life and putting so much of the bullshit, attaching it to sports and saying, oh, I'm getting them ready for the next level. And then everybody act like they getting $1 million a month. That's just not the key. You know what I'm saying? So that is a big thing of my program is development and being that family atmosphere where we going to get on you about grades. Yeah, I'm going to tell you. Yep, I'm going to tell that parent. We all going to collectively get on you because it's about you getting better, you achieving all that you can achieve. So the more pressure you got, the more people you got, you know what I'm saying, on your ass, a lot of times you start doing, you know what I mean, doing better because then you realize people care. Because a lot of these people, a lot of kids don't have people that care. Just to be honest. So when you realize that, yo, yeah, Coach Magic really cared. I go to graduations. I go to schools. You act up, they call me, that's the worst thing. A lot of kids rather for you call their parent than call me. Because if I come up there, I'm embarrassing you. I'm going to embarrass you. Because at the end of the day, it's nonsense that you acting like this and got somebody that got to come up here. So since you want to act out, I'm going to act out. But yeah, man, that's just what we really on, you know what I'm saying? And that's where it's led the program to blossom and get more components. Because my whole thing is I don't never want a kid to say, you can't come from my program and say you ain't had no opportunity. All you can say is I didn't take advantage. Because I'm going to show you schools out of town, Milton Hershey School, free school, don't got to pay nothing. Our kids got access to. They got elementary, middle, and high school. Guy right now, recruiting, always call me. Because he know all I'm trying to do is give kids an opportunity. Because I know if I put kids in the right environment, the right situation, they're going to thrive. I promise you. I've seen it time and time again. Because that's all kids need is a safe space. Sometimes they battling the outside, battling life, and can't be a kid. You know what I'm saying? They got pressures from home, pressures from the street, pressures everywhere. When you're able to get that kid out and that kid ain't got to worry about nothing but just being that kid and doing their work, getting their grades and getting their motherfucking sport, their hoop on, whatever, man, what? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
What would you say is the biggest misconception about coaching?
Biggest misconception about coaching, that it's just about the wins. I think way too many people focus on the wins and not the process. I tell my guys all the time, like, well, I coach the way I coach, and then I'm fundamentally sound because without them building blocks, you ain't gonna never get where. Anyway, I feel if I get my kids better, the byproduct is gonna be wins. The better the individual kids get, the byproduct is gonna be wins. So yeah, that may look like from going from 3 wins to 6 wins. But you continue that process, that 6 wins is going to turn into 9 wins. That 9 wins fuck around turn into a championship. Or it's going to put you in the playoffs, give you an opportunity to seize that moment and be special. Because that's what championship seasons are, special. Like, people think, and parents think that championships is already, like, you can go with whatever team. That don't mean you're going to win the championship. I've just seen a lot of powerhouse teams. We just seen them all. That don't guarantee talent. Just don't guarantee wins. You know what I'm saying? It's the culture you build. It's the brotherhood or sisterhood that you build. Them. I gotta tell people that locker room in a team is such a special thing, and people don't even realize it because a lot of times now the game has got a lot. You know, everybody's selfish. I'm in it for me. I'm in it for me. Like that, even with the transport portal. Yeah, I can go get the bag over there, but does that mean y'all gonna be good? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't get enough of you, then because I might have had to spend most of the money on you. So now I ain't got nothing for the. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good and glitz. And trust me, I went to college and I was starved and I was hungry. Yeah. So I am never gonna say or be mad at kids getting money for what they're doing. But I do say it is the Wild Wild West right now. And I think that they have to do a better job of policing it because a lot of kids going to get hurt in the process. And that's the part. Right now, they just using kids as pawns. And most of them is our color. They really are. So I need us to get educated and understand how to play the game. So that way, while they think they taking advantage, we done got 2 moves down the road that we going to make that. You know what I'm saying?
What's something that you take from your playing days that you still use today as a coach?
Go hard. Sometimes hustle beat talent. If you hustle something, because everybody ain't gonna hustle for a loose ball. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, like they say, rebounding is one. You gotta want to rebound. So that's why when people talk about Angel, like, you gotta want to rebound. Everybody don't rebound. You got some 7-foot guys that don't get 5 rebounds a game. because it's want. So that was always my thing, bringing that dog mentality, bringing that want, doing the things that others wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Diving for loose balls. And I ain't gonna be honest. It was, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Coach Mark. You know what I mean? Coach Marty. Coach Marty, when I was at St. Joe, he was the JV coach there when I was there. He brought all of those attributes and making sure and got a bunch of guys who were probably selfish to play under one and to really start doing the little things. And then, like I said, I wasn't start. So for me to have to find minutes, sometimes you gotta do the work other people don't, so you can hit the floor. So I've always been that guy. Like I told you, you give me 2 sticks together, I'm gonna make a 5. You know what I'm saying? Because you're giving me the opportunity. I was always one of those guys. You give me the opportunity, I'm gonna make the most of it.
And dealing with the population that we deal with, we know is rough.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You touched on a little bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore City. And if you got 11 kids, you might have 8 with issues.
Mm-hmm.
You might have the other 2 battling some issues, and you might have 1 that don't have none.
Mm-hmm.
But that's out of a whole team.
Yes, sir.
All right, so how do you earn the trust of the players?
Just being genuine, man, and just letting them know. And then sometimes it's really the parent, because the kid may trust you, but the parent is feeding them all this. You know what I mean? Oh, well, why you ain't starting? Well, why you ain't playing this position? You know what I'm saying? And my whole thing is I have to counteract that. So you're just really showing them love and then holding them accountable. Like I said, film. Film is the biggest thing, best thing ever, because you can't dispute that. And a lot of times at the youth level, a lot of people don't film. I am one of those guys that film, have always filmed, because you can't deny the eye in the sky. You can't tell me in the game. You can tell me, no, I blocked yo. Rewind. Here you go. You know what I'm saying? But earning the trust is just showing them that you care, man. Like it's never about wins. But again, I'm one of them coaches gonna hold you accountable. I don't care if you my best player or my worst player. Like I forfeited a game during an undefeated season because my kids didn't come to study hall. But study hall was a requirement. It was a mandatory thing. So they most of them missed, and we didn't have enough to play the game. So what that mean? I'm going to cancel the game. Everybody like, Magic, but why you couldn't? No, because the point needs to be made that if something needs to be done, you just can't skip it and say, I ain't going to do it. It's part of the process. You do that on your job, what you going to do? You might get fired. So it's about setting kids up in their mindset and having them be accountable from 7 years old. Because if you ain't holding that kid accountable at 7, at 14, what kind of kid you think you're going to have? So it's always, you got to hold kids accountable, because, again, we know when you ain't, you're going to do things that you ain't supposed to do. We got too many kids doing that right now because people aren't holding them accountable, and they just letting them play, and it is what it is. All right, Shorty but you don't even know Shorty got failing 2 classes. At the football season, you don't even talk to Shorty no more. I get it, but if that's your guy, because in football season, oh, that's my man, little Shorty, my man. You don't even talk to little Shorty no more after the football season. You don't talk to Shorty to workout stuff. Nah, bro, in my program, you always getting that love. Just because, again, I know it matters. I know me watching, me asking them, what's your grades? Send me your report card. I know that shit matters. You know what I mean? So, and that's why, another thought of why we started More Sports. So that way, nigga, you can't get away from me. Mm-hmm. Yup, you doing this. Yup, I know you don't know how to wrestle, but guess what? Y'all all wrestling. I pick them up. That's the other part. You know, I pick up kids and all that craziness. So, yeah.
What makes a player coachable for Coach Magic?
Just listen. You know what I mean? More than ever now, kids want to go back and forth. And that don't work for me. It just don't. Because how you going to learn if you still try and plead your case? Or if you know it all, why am I coaching and you not? So, yeah.
Define, this might get a little personal, but define some wins and losses that Coach Magic had in his life aside from playing. or after your playing days?
Man, even before, man. You know, growing up in Baltimore, man, I lost a lot of friends. Lot of friends. You know what I'm saying? And just being a part of that lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, just doing stuff that now I look back on like, damn, bro, you was wild. You know what I'm saying? But lot of losses, lot of losses. So those kind of shaped me, to be honest, because certain things happen, and every time something happened, it give you more knowledge and more insight. And I was never the dumb type, like for real. Like yeah. So I always analyze shit and see how things move. So that was another reason why, like I said, when I had my kid, I stopped doing a lot of dumb shit because I was like, you know what? I'm never gonna have a glass between me and my son and have somebody else raising him. And God knows what his mother, you know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, how I'm locked up. The world don't stop because you locked up.
Right.
So I realized that, and then when I had my daughter, then it really became real because it was like, nigga, you gotta get your life together because you still try to hop in, hop out, and you got a little girl. So really, having my daughter, really, and then like I tell the kids all the time, y'all saved my life. Just like, you know what I mean? Like the kid, I have gotten so much from the kids that people say I give to them. I've gotten, you know what I'm saying?
Just as much.
Yeah, just as much. Because if not, I'll be doing God knows what. Now, you know me, 7 days a week, most of the time I'm doing something with the kids. You know what I'm saying? And people, and I tell you all the time how much I hate it. But again, it has definitely saved my life.
Tell us about what you think makes, because you know you've been there, but it's not really synonymous with winning. But what makes a heart of a champion?
Just the grit, the being able to deal with adversity. I think that's what really a heart of a champion is. When things aren't going right, are we just gonna quit? When we all get blown out, are we gonna start pointing fingers? It's just that grit that keeps you going regardless. Like, I'm not going. So we have a saying as well, who better than us? Nobody. You know, you've heard us say that. You've beaten us and we've said that. Kids looking at us like, it's just the mentality though. Yeah, you might have got us that day, but regardless, that don't mean you better than me. You know what I'm saying? So just having that mindset that, look, life gonna throw shit at you. Yeah, you're gonna be down. Yeah, you're gonna take some L's. But how do you respond from that? That's the heart of a champion. How you respond from an L? How you respond when things don't go your way? Are you gonna sit there and cry about it, bitch about it, or are you gonna do something to improve that? So does that mean getting back in the gym or getting back on the field, practicing your craft? Does it mean, okay, I'm gonna pay a little bit more attention? Yeah, that's the heart of a champion.
Yes, sir. Take us to one of your in-game messages or halftime speeches that we can remember. One of my go-to messages that I get at kids, this is in huddle, not at practice. This something in huddle that's synonymous with Coach Magic. What's that message?
You don't work, you don't eat. You don't work, you don't eat. So we in game, we ain't working. How we eating? We start like that's life. If you do not work, you don't eat. So just saying those to those kids, no, we gotta step it up because we ain't working. How you expect to get the win if you ain't working? So it's just one of those things that's synonymous with life. And like I said, I put everything back to life because this game, it's a lot of lessons that can be taught for life. And that's just what it is. And everything, I always bring it back to life. Because a lot of these same things you got to do to be successful in life.
25 plus years of coaching. Mm-hmm. We're going to just say 25. We're going to leave out the plus. Mm-hmm. So many games, so many victories, so many L's. Mm-hmm. Take us through the one game, if you can have won, that you wish you could have back?
Two games. One is high school, St. Francis, our championship game, our first year in the new league. We had an opportunity to win it, and we didn't. I called something, shouldn't have called it, even though it could have worked, but now in hindsight, should have had a whole nother call. And then youth ball, maybe our second year as a Baltimore Stallion, we playing at the University of Maryland in the championship against Westlake, a really, really good team. And instead, in a critical situation, I had my quarterback throwing the ball where I probably should have ran it, and he fumbled the ball and led to us losing. But two great games, two games that was right there that we could have won, that I feel that I pissed the bed a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
How has coaching changed you as a person?
It's given me a whole different perspective, bro. And I ain't gonna lie, it's giving me purpose. And I never knew that I would say that about coaching. I never thought I would be coaching 20-nothing years. You know what I'm saying? Especially after my son, you know what I mean? My son done playing, and I never thought that I would be still coaching. Never.
We have the game that we can get back. What would you say would be your most important comeback?
Well, I would say now, how the program is set up. You know what I mean? Me being able to partner with Torrey Smith, us having a brand new rec center, brand new turf field, all the things that I spoke in existence. You know what I'm saying? You know, the field and the rec, I spoke that in existence. You know I talked about that. But I feel that's our biggest comeback, because we were left for dead. We were in a space that nobody was in. And then, like, even now, I got more access to gyms. Remember, we couldn't even find no gym. And then just the relationship. So I feel that's the biggest comeback. Because after COVID, it got really crazy. You know what I'm saying? It really did. So it was like, I feel like now we're back to where we need to be. We have everything in place that we need to have in place. And we're moving. I just introduced that we about to add swimming to the things that we do. And just seeing the growth of the program and the doors that open for us.
Okay. What was your proudest moment as a coach?
When my kids walk across that stage. Like, we keep that stat. So 87% of the kids that we have in our program for 4 more years graduate high school in 4 years. In Baltimore City, the statistic is 43%. So we've doubled that. You know what I'm saying? That's the most proud. I tell them that's our championships. That's when you know we did the right thing, because them kids are now progressive and about to become adults. Walk across that stage, because not every high school student does that. So again, for us to say that our black males are doing that in my program at an 87% clip, that's our biggest win, bro. Really is.
I know you, like you said, you've been with a program, this one, then you was that one, you had somebody else come in with yours. If you could, you know, because you a little bit more different than just Coach Magic. You program director Magic, right?
Yeah.
Program founder and everything. So take us through the inner workings, in and outer workings of a merger.
Well, it's really everybody. So for the mergers,
Hold on, and then the breakdown thereof of mergers. You know.
For me, it's just really everybody aligning to the common goal. My common goal was always the kids. So like I merged with Shutdown before. When we became the Village Youth Academy, I merged with Edgewood Lyndhurst Golden Jackals. So that's how we got to be Village Youth Academy, because they was right down the street, less than a mile away from us. You know what I'm saying? It was like, man, let's put our efforts together. We in the same area, we recruit the same kids, same area, like make it make sense. You know what I mean? Be less harder on you, less harder. But really, it's about having the same mindset. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm able to do it seamlessly because my only mindset is the kids. You know what I'm saying? I could care less about colors. I could care less about names. That shit don't matter. It's really about helping the kids. And like I told you, ain't no kid in my program can ever tell you they ain't have opportunities. Like I said, we do trades. We do so much shit that you can never say that. You can ask me right now. Like I got a kid that just came home. He tell me I'm about to work. Boy, what you gonna do? Can't be productive in jail. You know that's what we produce. Producers can't be productive in jail. So he like, I'm about to go work for a warehouse. Now that I gotta get a warehouse job, but nope, you gonna do one better. I'm gonna have you in a forklift, so you ain't gotta do the grunt work. I got a forklift certification class for you that's gonna start by. Feel me? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that it's about the opportunities, bro. For me, that like seriously, that is again support plus opportunities equals success. Like that's what we look. Cause I know if I lead you to the bag, you're gonna be good. If I can walk you to the bag and help you know how to get the bag, you're gonna be good. A lot of people won't walk you to the bag. They'll tell you.
By being Coach Magic, I appreciate it a little better.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And not only that, because you know what the expectations are. You know we ain't going to jail. Why? What can you do? You cannot, again, we are producers. Tell my kid, we are producers. Can't produce in jail. Can't produce no kids. You know what I'm saying? You can't produce. So why we want to go there? So I understand the pitfalls. Trust me, been there, done that. But I'm gonna show you a way that it's more money on the legal side than the illegal side. And that's what kids don't realize. They think it's more money on the illegal side than it is the legal side. The whole part about that they want to skip is the work part. They want to feel like it's easy. But then when they really get in that life, they put in more hours than they would then. And don't even realize it. So sometimes just making kids realize that shit. Like, bro, you say you do all this, do you have your own house? What's your credit score? Like all the things that really matter in life, you ain't even obtaining because you have no knowledge because you just thinking street. Stop. We're gonna show you how to become a millionaire from all the shit that you don't like in your own city. You know what I mean? Houses in Baltimore City that's boarded up, money. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Grass. You know what I mean? Grass running over in houses, money. All those are contracts. Picking up, doing this, but we never show our kids that way. We never show our kids to the bag. You know what I'm saying? Even like financial, we don't tell our kids about the importance of insurance. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Kids, their parents walk around with no insurance right now, no life insurance. Makes no sense. Because if we really knew the game, that money we spent on going out that week or those 2 weeks, that's money that could be paid for the insurance policy right there. So after you leave, even if it's $10,000, guess what? Kid got $10,000 extra. You can use $10,000 right now, can't you? Anybody can use $10,000. I don't care if you're a millionaire, you can still use $10,000. Nobody ain't gonna turn money like. So we just gotta understand the game and train our kids to understand the game and play the game the right way. We've been playing the game for so long the wrong way because first we wasn't allowed to play their game. Now we can play it. Yeah, they still got parameters. Yeah, they still got pitfalls. But guess what? You can navigate within their game and have a good, successful life.
Okay. Coach, how many national championships do you have?
I have 0, bro.
0?
0.
Okay.
0. Because at the end of the day, that's a special season. I haven't had one of them special seasons. I've been to nationals quite a few times. But you gotta have that's a special season. So I have 0.
Okay, so out of the great seasons that you had, how close have they been to special?
I had a lot of them. This season, this just passed. I had taken on a group of 9-year-olds that's really, really good. They're going to be really, really good down the line if everybody stay together. You know, that's transfer portal open every day. And I'm not one of those guys that I ain't selling nobody on nothing. I'm selling you on development, and I got the connections to put your kids in the right places. That's it. I can't do the work for them. I can't tell you I'm going to give you the scholarship. I'm just going to put you in the right situation. Because all the years I've been doing this and the relationships I've cultivated, I have so many doors open for your kid that you may not even know of. That'll expand their mind, give them opportunities beyond their reach. But I just need parents to be, understand that and trust the process. We say it all the time, but nowadays people don't want to trust the process. It's microwave. Is it good for me now? All right, I'm gonna go here. But those people that really stick around is really gonna get the benefit. And I've got some parents that really understand that. Like they understand what our program, especially when we talk about football. But even when they leave that, when they come over to basketball, right, they see what it really is. I'm really trying to cultivate your kid. Ain't no ego. I ain't gonna charge more than I have to. I ain't getting rich off this. Like people wonder, well, Magic, I've been taking vacations. I'm still gonna take vacations. I spent way more on youth football than youth football could ever give back to me. Ever. Like seriously. Just because at one time that, like my kids, my first group of kids, I bought a van because of them. You know what I'm saying? Like I made moves specifically for them. Anything they needed, I did. I didn't ask for no money from them parents. It was my kids. When we traveled, all that. Because again, that's a big part of me getting kids out of the city to see that people in Philly act just like you. People in New Jersey act just like you. Don't matter where you are, you still you. You still got to do the things that you need to do to be successful. So if we took all the things that we did in Baltimore and went to California and played this team and we were successful, all we did was take the stuff that we did home and did it there. Same thing if you want to move. Because a lot of times kids get stuck because they're afraid. Oh, I ain't got no family there. So what? You know what I mean? And that's the other part. Be fearless.
All right, Coach. We got to get into this, man.
Okay.
The segment we call I Would Do Anything, right? So this is about the one that I hate the most.
Okay.
This team, this group, this section, I hate these SOBs. I would do anything to beat these SOBs. So this is that one team that give me that trouble. Maybe they slide this kid in with this jersey. Maybe their grandmother cuss me out, or whatever the case may be. But who would take us to that team, Coach?
Well, I'm gonna go high school. I would do anything to beat Mater Dei. St. Francis got to beat Mater Dei.
Okay, so we're going to point to the camera.
Yeah.
We're going to let them know.
Mater Dei, your ass is grass. St. Francis coming for you niggas.
All right, so we're going to say, I would do anything to beat.
I would do anything to beat Mater Dei High School.
All right. So what's some of the the backstory between this Mater Dei?
Well, Mater Dei didn't beat St. Francis the last 3 times we done played. That's like the only team. We haven't beaten a team from California yet. So Mater Dei is usually the pinnacle of California football. So we've played them and lost to them. Like when we had Blake Corum, we lost to him. Blake Corum ran for 200 plus yards and we still lost. They had Bryce Young though. Best high school quarterback I've ever seen. But I felt going into that game that we was going to win that game. I thought we was bigger than them. I thought we was more physical than them. But they had their own, you know what I mean? Like they really got their culture. Their culture out there is, you know what I mean, is tight. Well, it was. Now they lost their coach, who, a long time coach, and it's kind of crumbled a little bit. They still hold a high standard though, but yeah. We haven't gotten them yet, and I think that's the only thing that has prevented St. Francis from being undefeated and being not only overtime national champion, by the way they did this year, but Max Press overall national champion as well.
Okay. I spoke with you a couple, maybe a month or so back. We tried to kind of schedule this a little earlier. You said, well, we on the way to the championship. All right, so take us through that. You do coach with those guys over at St. Francis.
Yeah.
And take us through that, how that,
Man, look, when I started doing that, and again, this has all come from a guy, like I said, I didn't go to St. Francis. It was another relationship that I had built with a coach. And then when Biff Poggi came over there, the coach reached out to me because I was one of the first guys he ran into when we started really got the St. Francis program back together and started getting a little traction. He came to me and I sent a bunch of kids there. So I've always been St. Francis since Messiah first got there. I've been there the entire time. That's why I said I'm not one of them new guys that's just gotten to St. Francis. But they are very critical into the success. But I have been there. I've seen the program go from where it was to where it is now. But it's just a thing, man. It's just different when you got kids all on the same page, where everybody pushing everybody to be successful, man. It's a beautiful thing. And that's what they have at St. Francis. Like, you ain't come to St. Francis if you ain't got aspiration to go to college. Like, if you ain't willing to put that extra work to go to college. I tell people all the time, some people go over there and think it's sweet, and then they transfer out. Because, again, if you ain't no practice player, St. Francis ain't the place for you. Because, one, practice probably going to be harder than the game we going to have that Friday. You know what I'm saying? Because it's defense versus offense. Nobody there plays both ways. So it's literally you going against them. So when you got a five-star on defense, you got to go against them every goddamn day of practice. So that sense of how to compete and competing at a high level is just fascinating, man. And that's just been such a great experience to ultimately bring over to the youth, to be honest, because you don't see coaches doing the same thing. And a lot of the things that I do at the youth level now is kind of a modification of what we do at the high school level.
Does the overtime championship hold the same weight as the AP?
Max Preps, no. So in a couple publications we was number one. A couple publications we weren't. But Max Prep is where everybody really go for high school sports. You gonna Google Max Preps, see who ranked, regardless of whatever ranking you want to look at. And half the time you only know about them until somebody posted. But everybody know about Max Preps. You know what I'm saying? So if you are the Max Preps, then that holds a little bit more weight for us. But again, we only lost one game. So it is what it is. We know if we had an opportunity to play those teams in a playoff format, then we like our chances. And that's the whole thing. In high school, it's never going to be a national champion just because states have rules against extra games and all these things. But again, we would love to. And because we can't play in the playoff here, if we don't go undefeated, that's our goal every year. So we can be, because that's the only championship we going to win. Because they kicked us out the league, so.
When it's all said and done, Coach Magic hang up his whistle, what would you want your legacy to be?
Just that I did my part. You know what I mean? Everybody asks, you know what I mean? I tell everybody, all I'm trying to do is do my part. Because there's so much that need to be done in the city. If everybody do their part, then I think this city can make a real big turnaround. So that's my message always. I'm just doing my part. I don't need no accolades. You see me, you don't never see me all out there on. I guess I need to because of the world of social media and having that presence. But like this is not something I would normally do. Just because, again, I don't need anybody to give me any praise for the things I've done because it was all done genuinely and for those kids. You know what I'm saying? So I'm okay just with that. You know what I mean? A nice touch was that we did get the rec center that I had talked about 10 years ago. It's now up. But again, I'm fighting for that because politics is politics. So when you said about a team, I was hoping you asked me just one thing I could say, you know what I mean, that I'm tired of, or I'm going to get like Baltimore City, yeah, Rex and Parks, yeah, school board, yeah, all them, man, like, because it sometimes like pulling out teeth trying to help kids. You know what I mean? You know the struggle of trying to get gyms, trying to get access to fields, and all I do is try to provide services for kids that they not providing. To be honest, when I went around Baltimore Hilton, that rec center had been closed. They forgot about those kids in that area. They didn't care about those kids in that area. So for me, it's like, yeah, if I could really it would be them because they don't understand that with partnerships with outside entities that's not a part of the city, you can do so much more in this city. So,
if it was one thing that you could change about that system, like what would it be?
Fair access. Because everybody ain't got fair access. If you ain't the homeboy over there that got the hook up, you ain't gonna never get access. Like I said, CC Jackson Field, they don't play there every week. But you try to get on there, it's like, no, you can't. You know what I'm saying? You can go by CC Jackson Field right now. You can go by on there Saturday. Ain't nothing going to be going on. But if I put something there to be going on there, they're going to tell me no. I got to go through this person. Why? The system ain't supposed to be that. If it's open space and not on this calendar, I should be able to have access. I can go right now and go to Reader Church right now and show you that on their portal, it say open gym space. But if I put mine in there, somebody going to call me back and say, nope, it ain't really open. They got time. So why isn't it showing up on the system? Because it ain't going to show up on the system because that's the hookup. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. But again, that's why we striving to get out on.
Yes, sir. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Or do you have any, aspirations to, move up? Is it college? Is it,
No.
Be the president, be the mayor? What's next for Coach Magic?
Man, I just want to do my part. You know what I mean? I'm a humble guy, man. I like to fish. I like to golf. I just hope I get more time to do that, to be honest, and travel a little more. But again, man, it's really been a pleasure serving kids and watching their development. It keeps, even though I say I spend a lot of money, I would spend more money if I was just going out to eat or at a bar. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes they help me save money. But really, in 5 years, I want my program to be where it should be. I told everybody in a couple years I want to be on 60 Minutes. Them doing a story on the impact that we've had. You know what I'm saying? Not just because of the sports, but really the impact in showing stories of my kids thriving. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing. I want this for them. Like I said, it has nothing. I just want them to become great fathers, be able to raise their kids, and then if they feel like it or hope to, I hope they give back. Now, I ain't asking them to give 25 years, but I am asking them to give back a little bit because that's what has gotten you here, because somebody was willing to give back.
Coach Magic.
Appreciate you, good brother.
Yeah, give me 2 seconds. I got something for you.
All right. We done?
Yeah, we done.
All right.
You need to use the bathroom, but we still.
Oh, we still in here?
Yeah, I got 1 second.
Okay,
Yeah, just hold
okay.
tight.
I'm right here.
Good
Get out
brother.
of here, brother.
Good
That's
brother.
some bullshit.
To my good brother.
That's what's up. You crazy as shit, bro. That's what's up, though. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Appreciate
you, my nigga.
Nah, man, for real. That's love. Appreciate you. Definitely got me and shit with that one.
To my good brother,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to present Coach Magic with his flowers and his golden whistle, man.
I appreciate you.
Deserve
That's
it, man.
big,
Deserve
man.
it, man. Let me get a
That's
little
big.
picture with you, man.
Appreciate you, good brother.
Keep doing what you do, baby.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
all
sir.
appreciate it, baby.
Yes, sir.
Believe that. Coach Magic.
Yes, sir.